Hi everyone, this is SIG K8s Infra meeting. We are August 17, and this is the bi-weekly meeting. Reminder, this meeting is under the code of conduct, so I invite everyone in this meeting to be excellent to each other. Let me share my screen and share the docs in the chat. Oops. So I think the first, do we have a note taker for this? Like anyone can?
I can help.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Oh, please, please add yourself in the attendee list. I think we can start with the build report. So compared to last time we were there, I don't see something specific changing in the building report. I don't really see a specific change. Compared to if I go to the GCP breakdown, yeah, we mostly use the same services for GCE, and when I go back, I don't see, I think we see the same pattern related to consumption. Anyone notice something different or have a question?
Nope, nothing from me.
Okay. First item is Caleb.
Yeah, they open up a ticket in OCI Proxies repo for renaming the repo to registry.k8s.io because I think it would suit it way better. And from there, I also created a ticket in the org repo for Kubernetes. And this is the formal process, I believe, for making this happen. Just yesterday, Mr. Bobby Tables and Nikita were assigned because I'm not sure what steps are on my side to progress this.
Okay, I think your question is in what Christoph say. If renaming it's okay, but migration to a different organization need a conversation with SIG architecture. I think this is what Christoph say here for is a little different, both name to sign off. So if rename is it's okay, it's easy to get done, but if we want to basically change the organization, we need to go through SIG Arch for this. So I think your next step is to get a +1 from SIG Arch chair / technical lead for the migration. After that, I think the rest is pretty straightforward for this.
You know why he's saying SIG Arch? I'm not sure why they'd be responsible for the renaming of repos.
Because there's a policy issue by SIG. I think Teams point that out somewhere in community. We don't allow new repository in the Kubernetes organization. So in order to get that, to make that happen, you need to get the approval from SIG Arch.
Okay.
Where is that policy?
Yep.
Different branch, yeah, Kubernetes repository, SIG core. Yeah, okay, so this is basically, I'm putting the rule here in the chat.
Just throw it in the chat. We can stick it in the agenda.
So because of that policy, the GitHub admin can't create new repository in the Kubernetes organization. So you need to talk to SIG Arch for this.
No worries. We can take it to SIG Arch in the next meeting, or we can
Okay.
ping them in Slack in the meantime.
Okay, once you get that approval, and the rest will follow up.
Sweet.
Okay, next. Wait, anyone has a question? We lost Adolfo, so possible crash. Anyone has a question about this?
I think that's a good next step. Thank you.
Okay. So next, evaluate Cloudflare for artifact distribution. I'm assuming it's Teams or anyone has a.
Dennis mentioned it. I saw the issue and I thought let's just stick it in here and then discuss, because I remember last time it was quite a robust discussion. So I thought I'd take the.
Okay, so because
stick in the agenda.
Okay, Science Teams is not here. I think we can skip that.
Mohammed said he has some thoughts on that, so let's hear.
I wanted to mention a few things.
Yeah.
So there's something we can do with Cloudflare today to cut some costs with serving anything out of GCS. Not the images, but the blobs. Google has an arrangement with Cloudflare and a few other people, with a few CDN providers, where egress cost is significantly discounted. But you would need to modify the bucket so that it acts like a website, and then you go to Cloudflare and you add it in there. Cloudflare also allows you to do CDN caching on like the enterprise plans if you don't want to host the DNS there. So it's probably something that we could talk to Cloudflare about, and relatively simple to configure and play around with.
Okay, so the question is, do we want to use that for the blobs?
Yeah.
That's your question or your suggestion?
We should. That's what your plan is here, right?
The problem is, if we want to use Cloudflare with GCS bucket, we are not doing the migration to artifact registry.
No. So this is separate from artifact registry. We're talking about the like kubectl binaries and stuff. Those are not on artifact registry.
Oh, that's the plan for that. That's why we do the evaluation.
Okay.
That's why we do the evaluation, and the idea behind that is to basically use binaries and stuff, binaries and system packages. That's why we want to use Cloudflare.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I thought that was the plan. How far along are we? Are we like in a place where we can turn this on, or is it like quite a way to go?
They give us an account with enterprise plan, but it's not official. So the condition to make that official is to finish the POC and go back to Cloudflare, and CNCF need to talk to Cloudflare.
Okay. Is the POC finished?
Mostly, I'm almost done. The only thing remaining is traffic encryption, because traffic encryption basically happening in two places: the traffic from the client to Cloudflare and the traffic from Cloudflare to the origin.
That should always be encrypted. Should be enabled out of the box.
That's the problem. Is like in order to make that happen in the two part, you need to have a certificate on the origin. And I don't think we want to do that because we want to basically consider the GCS bucket as origin. So we just need to encrypt the traffic from the client to Cloudflare.
Okay, I don't think you even need to do that. You just go to GCS, convert the bucket into the website, it'll get a certificate issued, and then you
don't even need to convert the bucket to a website because the agreement between Cloudflare is you need to have your IP address coming from compute engine or storage engine. Once we do that, the 1715% apply to that. What is that document? It's Cloudflare GCP. Partnership. I don't see. I need to find the document because basically it's mostly you at the moment the origin is a bucket of a load balancer. I'm gonna say the partnership apply to it.
Okay. All right, sounds great. I have one last question. Have you tried to play around with R2 from Cloudflare and having the blobs in R2 buckets and play around with workers to serve it from there in that fashion?
When you say the blobs, you mentioned container images?
No. I'm not talking about container images. I'm talking about Cloudflare R2. So Cloudflare has an object storage service now. With a very
we don't want to do that because it's not ready at the moment because it was beta when we talked to it. It was private beta, it was not ready at the moment.
Okay.
Also because we have integration between Prow and those GCS bucket, it's gonna be a little painful to migrate to R2 because you lose workload identity if you do that.
Yeah.
And that's the next, which means anything inside the tooling, the CI tooling to push to a different cloud, to cloud R2 need extra tooling to ensure authentication. And R2 is still not part of the enterprise plan at the moment.
Okay.
So at the moment we talked to them, it was not part of that. So we need to go back to them. So I think with Cloudflare, we want to finish basically migrate a few domains we have currently. And once we finish with that migration, we can talk about using Cloudflare R2. But I don't think we need to move to that because there's no specific value gain on that. If you use the enterprise plan, we basically save money. We already distribute all the objects we have through the network. Using R2 is just a bonus.
Okay. I'm just mentioning it because better cost proposition, and more importantly, R2 has better reach than GCS.
Basically, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I think the difference, because we have an enterprise plan, so we have unlimited bandwidth. We are not limited by bandwidth.
Okay.
So moving to R2 is more like, we want to leverage R2 feature, but we already use Cloudflare network with the enterprise plan. So there's no value gain to use Cloudflare R2.
Yeah, I was wondering if the cost model suits, because I understand that R2 charges you for the storage, right?
Yep, and egress is almost free. I think the minor difference is the egress costs coming from Cloudflare. Because if we use Cloudflare, we're going to pay for the traffic between the origin and Cloudflare. That's what we're going to pay. And we're going to have 75% of reduction on that. So if we move to R2, this is the only gain we get. And that's financial. Technically, there's no really gain. There's no really value on that. Because we have workload identity and many service account and pro job you're already pushing to the GCS bucket.
Yeah, and the benefits for R2. I mean, it makes sense to store the blobs in R2 if you if you, but the thing I was worried, and I never suggested looking into that, is because we store lots of historical blobs. So if R2 charges you for those images, which are simply there for historical reasons, because we never purchase them, we would be paying for nothing really, right?
Yeah, and I think this is like if we basically use R2, we don't need an enterprise plan, to be honest. We went through them because we want to leverage that enterprise plan and say, okay, we have infinite bandwidth on the entire account.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I think we then go to China network, stuff like that. So if we use R2, problem is we need to work on tooling to make sure we can push blobs object to R2.
It'll be the same tooling as what we're doing for AWS, so you don't really change much.
Yeah,
that
is true.
The problem is if you don't use R2 and you basically use Cloudflare as to shield everything, you don't need to do anything.
Yeah, Cloudflare CDN is an easy win with minimal work. R2 is a little bit extra work, but yeah.
So it's like you don't need to do anything. You just need to shield your basically your point of distribution, like DLKs.io, artifacts.io, the endpoint for installing the system packages. At the moment you shield that with Cloudflare, there's no point to basically add extra logic to push to S3 or to push to any object storages. And right now, only SIG is doing that to push to S3. There's no other, only SIG relays and scopes doing that. There's no other SIGs working on that because basically
I think what Mohammed is saying is that if we are working on tooling to mirror on AWS, the same tooling can work just out of the box for the other one.
Yes.
For R2, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see. So,
but if there's no financial gain, well,
I have no problem to use R2.
I think if there's no financial gain, then the decision should be on what is the simplest system to maintain it.
Yeah. So the thing is, we have to basically rework again the tooling to make that happen, to push to another object storages. But you basically add some Tor, like, oh, you need to have multiple destination for the object storage, and there's no really value gain, because if you basically use Cloudflare to shield all of this, basically just shield GCS, you gain something.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying. For 2022, we should basically focus on finish setup and Cloudflare, finish with S3 and stuff like that. And when we start 2023, we can come back and basically say, also based on the conversation we have with Cloudflare, because like I said, at the moment we reach out to them, R2 was not a thing and was not part of the enterprise plan. So I don't know what's the agreement we're gonna get from them. Yeah. So
just I think I'm kind of seeing the benefit of it. Maybe it's the same that Mohammed is also contemplating. Yeah. So the plan, as we are currently improving tooling on the promoter to push to IR, and we're also building the AWS infrastructure mirroring system. So those are going to be built anyway, and the path that we are working on right now is adding complexity and time to the promotion process. So if we front the buckets with R2 or another solution, it would be worth contemplating. Not now, but once we have all of the system and tooling in place, we can start designing. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I would be happy if we had the CDN up and running this year and we can revisit R2 in 2023. We already got a lot of stuff to do.
That's what I'm proposing. When I reached out to Cloudflare, was the entire plan for 2022 is focus on absorb the cost for what is existing right now. So mostly the binaries and the system packages. And to be honest, R2 was something we wanted to look into, but it was private beta, and I never came back to them and basically say, oh, let's try R2. So we can talk about that next year if you want. Okay, anyone else?
Arnold, can you just summarize the thoughts in the issue in answer to DIMS and mark it as 2023? So if it does come up with life cycle style, that everybody remember, oh yes, that's where we are.
I already responded to Tim. He already gave me an update on this. If you check the link, we see basically there's a conversation. So that's why I say I'm gonna go back to him.
All right, good, thanks. And if we just mark it that we're gonna do it 2023, and then we'll all remember.
Yeah, for 2023,
Next time
I
request.
think 2023 is more like to be defined because we still don't know what's gonna happen in the next 6 months about image promotion. So even for next 2023 is to be defined. Like, I don't know what's happening with image promotion in December. So I know we'll be talking about image promotion, basically get rid of a lot of system packages, but I saw it's a different issue. So about that, I think we're clear about this. Any question?
Sounds great. R2 is next year. Let's get the CDN up for now.
Okay. Oh, okay. So next question is me. So I put 2 issues related to S3, and I'm curious if there's an update about this. So my question is for Caleb and Ryan. The first issue is about what we talked last time, security posture, and the second issue is about the conversation Ben and Brian and Caleb had 2 weeks ago, because I talked to him before this week, and he told me we need to ensure we have automate sync between GCS and S3. Yeah. Okay.
Can you clarify the question? Sorry.
So my question is, where are we on this issue? Like best practice on security for AWS S3.
I had given a few days of trying to figure out how to do the notifying for authentication or any kind of changes regarding access to the accounts and that role, and I don't know currently how to do that. It's very, very complicated.
Okay.
I'm sure it's possible, but yeah, I'm not sure, but I will be revisiting that. And then I have been working on this from the start and currently running into Terraform bottlenecking, how I can implement this. There's also some IAM things that I'm trying to get right. But pretty much what this PR is to add a resource that does the syncing between all of the regions. And so then would just put into the US East 2 one, and then it would figure its way out to the rest of them. But yeah, sometimes Terraform can make things a little more difficult, and running into something with IAM that I need to figure out as well. But been on my mind since the start, still figuring it out.
Okay, can we? I think I don't want to assume you block, but can we basically do that using rclone? Like have multiple cron process in maybe easy to instance Equinix stuff to do that?
My thought was that AWS can take care of it for us, which means that there's no management around running a job somewhere. And it also would mean that the traffic is likely free kind of thing. If we want to do any syncing and make it definitely more on the cost saving side, then we'll need to make sure it's running in AWS somewhere.
Yep.
But it'd be unfortunate if we have to write up a bunch of stuff when they can take care of it for us, being it built into S3. That would be like my last option. Which
Yeah, because the one thing we basically can promote OCI proxy if the bucket are not in sync. That's my main concern here, like, because I think last week I had to basically sync from GCS to the bucket in East because there were like some blob missing. Like, for example, the blobs or the pose images were missing. So if we do promotion of OCI proxy right now and someone's trying to pull using registry kits, registry.kits.io for a specific image, that person might not be able to download something.
Oh no, they would be able to download it. It just wouldn't be coming from the mirror, which is closer. Which I don't think
so
it's not. If I may, I don't believe it's particularly urgent to have everything immediately up to date, because regardless, they will get the assets, and then we can just update it as we need. When you did run the sync command, however, I think you might have only done it to one region, but I have some scripts to do it manually for GCS to S3 and S3 to the remainder of the buckets, which would in fact do the minimal cost saving of however many blobs that would be transferring over there. But what I'm trying to say is, yes, I think automated sync is great. I don't think it's particularly urgent to have it syncing constantly, because regardless, they're going to get the content that they need. And then, yeah, those are my thoughts.
Okay, because my understanding from the I think Ben said something somewhere that it was a blocker for doing promotion.
No, I think Ben would prefer if it's up and running, but what I understood exactly the same from Ben is, so basically he keeps a log of what is synced. He check is it there, and then there's a local stored log of the things that he did find there. And if he does not find it, it's not in the log, he just don't redirect. So it's just a loss of cost saving that we have, but the end user will not miss the artifact.
But we want to
be
GCS. Yeah, but we want to be efficient in terms of cost saving.
Absolutely. That's why this is important and is a priority, but it's not a blocker. So that is the thing that we're working on now. So I don't think it's blocking us, but you're absolutely right. It is a priority to get it up sooner than later, and also get the syncing automated inside. We've been talking quite a bit with AWS to try and they have to have bucket syncing tooling on the inside, but we haven't had joy with that yet, because it would be to sync it from the outside would be not the most efficient.
Okay, so do we have an ETA for this? Because I think my question is, so from what you say, we can go in production without have the bucket sync, right?
That's correct. Well, automated, without the automated bucket sync.
Okay, so do we have an ETA for this, or we just we have to go in production?
I'm not sure about an ETA for it, but there will be cost saving if we go into production for the new assets downloaded using the domain. Of course, when new new images become available and the blobs need to be accessed, the cost saving won't be immediately in for those until it's synced, but that is quite a minimal thing, a minimal amount of data to transfer compared to all of the, I think we have as of like 2 weeks ago or something, all of the buckets synced, which is pretty cool. And what was I gonna say? That would mean for a great lot of cost saving for people who are pulling from the new domain compared, and then we can just pull across the new blobs as needed, and that will mean for cost saving for those new ones when it's needed, or aside from the automated sync.
Yeah, from our last discussion with Ben, he said he would love the automated sync, but if we can work out some method to at least ensure that there is syncing at some stage, even if it has to be manually up to now, but it's not a blocker. So yeah, we can work out what we could do on our side. If we're really blocked, we can say, okay, we're going to have a manual process running weekly, bi-weekly, whatever we consider, at least after the release has been cut. It would be obviously important to sync them and figure out what intervals we will sync manually until we can get the automation figured out. The automation is obviously important, but we can work it another way. And immediate, because the cost saving is the most urgent thing at this stage, because we're busy running out of money. So the faster we start redirecting, the better.
Okay.
Do we have a date in mind for the release, for asking people to switch?
No, we don't, because it's switch to where?
Like, well, like right now, the project itself is using registry.k8s.io, but we haven't told the community to do that just yet. So when are you planning on doing that?
There is that's going to be part of the release note of 125.
Yes, that's the one plan, and the other plan is Hippie already sent out a notification on the mailing list, say, be aware this is what's going to happen within the next 30 days. We are working on it, but we won't swap out before the next 30 days. So to give people a heads up, because what we're concerned about is that it could be a breaking change for people. So properly just after release has been cut would be a good time to do this.
So I think there are two things happening here. We don't have it in really specified, but at the moment 125 is out, we assume the community is going to use that new endpoint.
Okay, so 1.25 release is a milestone. Okay, the other milestone is Google changing
from basically shifting the traffic from GCR to us, and that date is still to be defined, because I think Ben was the communication on that. Target would be end of September to basically shift traffic. Is going to be transparent for anyone, but we still need to send a notification for this.
Okay.
Because we need to inform people we do that shift, so they adjust their network policy / DNS and DNS policy to ensure traffic is not blocked on the site.
Okay. We still have some work to do on the Terraform stuff for OCI proxies.
Yeah, I think Ben and me made some comments on the pull request you open. Should address those comments and do so. Probably in the incoming ways, we're gonna tag OCI proxy and go in production.
Yeah, so the reason I'm asking that is we kind of need to write a date somewhere. Say, hey, this is the date we want to take this to production. These are high priority things that we need to fix. These are things we can fix later, but not just as important.
You want a priority list?
Yeah, that would help. Like, for example, if I know this is going live and we're expecting a ton of traffic next week, the Terraform work takes priority. The other stuff can wait.
Okay, I think we should have an issue as a priority list and say what's need to be done in order to go in production and have a date established. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay. Anyone has a question?
So just to confirm the action is, Arnold, you're going to make an issue and share it with the priorities that must be done before we can go to production.
Yep.
I have one. So I was talking to the Snyk people this morning.
Yeah.
And so just by passing, I heard something from them that apparently some of the redirection that happens now with the new OCI proxy and the new domain, something I'm not sure of the specifics, but I can get them if you need me to. Apparently, the new redirection schemes broke the Snyk client. So Snyk, the security tool, you can point it to an image reference and it'll scan it for you. So the new redirection broke all the scanning of the Kubernetes images. I don't know why exactly, and they already fixed it, but I was curious if you've heard about other tools breaking because they can handle the redirection.
No, because we never had, after all the communication we made, I think we need to enhance the communication, and that's why we flag that change as a breaking change, because the release note is going to be a breaking change. Once we do that, we should basically see people reach out about things breaking. But if Snyk people can reach out to us and basically share with us what happened, what kind of issue they face, that would be great. So we can basically address that now. So yeah, it's possible it's a specific, because if you say it's one of the K8s images, I would say it's possible the issue is related to the manifest mostly. Or if the
manifest is not getting redirected, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Basically, because the manifest is not getting redirected and the blobs are redirected, there must be a mismatch between them, but I will be surprised. So
yeah. So I was just curious because it may be a pattern in handling the redirections, which may also occur on other tools. But I can investigate a little bit more and share it on the next meeting.
Yep. So if they can open an issue anywhere, we might be able to investigate that and see what's happening. So because there are too many options here, like maybe they use the V1 client of the Docker client is doing requests using the V1 version of the API server, and that's why there's an issue. Must be something in the blobs, many options.
Okay. Yeah, I'll ask them.
The one only thing, like, I'm begging, open an issue.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, it's basically what you were saying. We let people know, and when it broke, they knew the reason and fixed it. But
fix it.
If in the future we see other tools breaking, it would be helpful to know that certain pattern of consumption breaks clients in order to more easily advise people.
Okay. Anything else about this subject?
So Adolfo, you will reach out to the Snyk people and just ask them to open the issue.
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask them if they can give me some technical details, and I'll come back here and see if we should open an issue or capture it in a document, or we can decide.
I know just one other thing from my side, say it would be in the release notes, have somebody taken it up and actually to ensure that it's in there. It should be in there, but that somebody take the actual action to make sure that it's in there.
For 125?
Yeah, for 125.
It's already in the release notes, so
okay.
I don't think, perfect. Because I took care of that.
Okay, perfect. No, we all know it should be in there, and I was wondering if somebody specifically took the action item. So perfect. If you've done that, great.
Yeah, I already done that. It's already in the change log of. If you check the change log for RC1 or RC2, you will see that. I already took care of that.
Perfect. Thanks, Arnold.
Okay. Any question related to that?
I just want to add one quick comment. That report, we're probably going to hear more about it because people often forget to configure their clients to redirect things properly. So expect to hear more of that in the future.
I'm not sure. Can you repeat? I didn't follow this.
Sorry, my internet is a bit bad. But yeah, I would expect to hear more reports about broke errors because people haven't configured their clients to redirect things properly.
Oh,
Um,
so this is affecting cluster starting 125 or custom installer deploying Kubernetes cluster with 125 version.
okay.
So the old, like anything before 125 will still use the old redirect for the moment. Now, if we do the traffic redirection for Google, we need to, we will worry about that. And I'm thinking about something. Okay. Anyway, let's continue because we have.
Yeah, I'll let Brian go first. He's a
Yep.
new face and he's got some questions.
Welcome, Brian McQueen. I can
Hello.
hear you.
Hello. Yeah, thanks for putting me up there at the front. First attendance here. I'm working on fixing flaky tests. I'm kind of new to the whole project. I've been having some discussion about getting a test artifact stored in a what did I see? A GCS bucket. I have verified after we moved the proud job inside, it's still failing. Yeah. And I'd like it if we could get some kind of verdict if stashing it in a GCS bucket is feasible or not, so I can change direction or cancel the whole effort or something.
This is on me. I was supposed to get back about this. So my concern is if I think the first concern I express is like we should not do public bucket because we're gonna be almost be the people handling the traffic for other people interested by the data you want to pull. I think Daniel suggests we use private bucket. I'm fine with that. I don't think there's a specific blocker now that job running on community infrastructure. But I want to try something because I tried to pull that data inside our community infrastructure and it's working. So I'm curious why in the image is not pulling, but when I connect to a GC instance, I can download that data.
So if I had access to the cloud myself, I could probably have debugged the whole thing much more efficiently. It's all been secondhand. I can't get in there.
There's no, basically, if you have a GCP project, it's fine. Even of your personal account, I can add you and see what's happening because we are not specific about uses of GCP. All the instances have dynamic public IP address. So I'm wondering why I can, using two different GCP projects, pull the data with a curl, but in that image it's failing. I think that's my concern. I don't understand because at work I use a GCP project and I can pull that data using community infrastructure. I can pull that data, but with the image it's failing.
Yeah, you got exactly the right question. I'd like the answer to that too. If you know how I can debug that by granting me access, I'll get in there and figure it out.
Okay, can I go back?
We can
Can I
talk.
get back to you next week because I'm little focused on release. 125 is really, it's happening Tuesday. I have a lot of things to do before that. So for anyone interested in the conversation, there's a job pulling that information, which is a public data set and hosted by the American University. So we have an image pulling that data, and a pro job using that image failed to download that. We basically got the connection timeout. So somehow in that image, it's not happening. But if you try to pull that information and, like, for example, try to, I think you're looking for Azure.data, right?
Yeah, and there's one or two other little files.
Yeah, if you download that data using basically in the GCA instance, it's working. In the community, in a container running in the GK cluster, it's working. But somehow we have a job failing for that because of that. So the suggestion is to download all of this in an internal, in a private bucket inside a community-owned project and use that for that project.
Yeah, I bundled up a minimized set of the external dependencies into a zip file, and I can easily pull down the zip file and unpack it myself in the test, as long as I can get access to the artifact.
Okay.
I know it's not a great idea to store files in the Git repository, but have you tried to do that?
I'm so opposed to stashing binaries in Git that I don't even ask for the privilege.
In KK is not going to happen. That's for sure. So, because I think SIG API machine spend a lot of time to trying to reduce the size of that repository to the point where just handling Golang logic. That's why we want
I know
to
it's
use
not a great
it.
idea, but
Yeah, that's why
there's
we
a
want
policy
to use
banning it. Then okay,
it's not a
Okay.
policy banning. It's more like, I know in the past we had issue with that. So because I would say, for example, the cluster subrepo had a lot of binaries, and we got rid of a lot of stuff in that repository. So that's why there's a suggestion to put that in a private bucket, and we have a job pulling from that. I will get back to you after 125 is out, because I still have a lot of things related to that. I'm really sorry about that.
Understood. That's okay. I'll make a note on the ticket that's still in progress, and we'll resume work soon.
Okay.
Thanks.
So we have 5 minutes to talk about GCR to artifact migration, to artifact registry migration.
Yeah, so as you know, the infrastructure is up. Kpromo has a bug. I know that it torpedoed the 1.25 release the other day. Unexpected things. I'm investigating Kpromo's logic. I know what the problem is. Just gonna work out how to fix it. And then the other thing is I've got a couple of jobs running to sync buckets. To sync the artifact registry repositories, and I'm running into quota problems. It's just how it is. It will probably take longer than expected to get those buckets synced properly. Sorry, to get those registries synced properly.
What was the expectation for artifact registry?
Well, I was expecting it to be done in a week. Well, it took me 12 hours to do 1-to-1, but we're doing 1-to-26, and we're doing like 5-6 concurrently. So
But
we're gonna
it's gonna be done this week, because we have 3 repository already full.
How do you know it's full?
Oh, you don't sorry, you don't have access to the
Yeah. So I know
artifact.
in Artifact Registry you can see the size of the registries. Yeah.
Where is that? So we have 3 Ancestral already full.
That's actually looking better than I thought.
So there's a granting I need to do for you. Asia is almost full, so we have like 3 regions almost full. So I'm surprised you say.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. I wasn't able to see this, so I have no idea how well it's progressing. If we're expecting a terabyte, it's actually pretty great. The jobs are running every 2 hours. Some of the quarter resets every 2 hours. Some sets resets once a day. But okay, at this rate, I think it'll be done by the end of the week.
Yeah, but so also artifact registry, we don't have great expectation about artifact registry because it's not cost saving to use that. We don't save money by using that.
Not entirely true, because in a few months, serving anything out of a multi-regional bucket is expensive.
Not really, because we don't how many we replicate maybe 10 gigabyte per month right now.
Yeah, but Google's going to charge an extra penalty for serving things out of multi-regional buckets, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait. Where is that? Where is that? Change temporary ingress networking. Oh, you mean this one?
Yeah.
2 cents per gigabyte.
Yeah, so exactly. So Google Cloud, things in Google Cloud that we're reading things from multi-region for free is no longer free anymore. So there's a charge for that now.
Yeah, but that's
I'm not sure how much that's going to cost you, but
so if we basically shift artifact registry for production, it's only for everything outside Google.
okay.
It's mainly outside of Google because everything inside K8s infrastructure is using the staging repository. We have a few things, but it's gonna be 2 cents per gigabyte.
Okay.
Because all the infrastructure is in US Central.
Okay.
US Central. So
no, I'm talking about customers that are not using GKE on Google Cloud and they're running Kubernetes on GC instances. They're gonna pull stuff from here.
This is
Okay, there's a lot of
applying
people like that
for
out there.
There's no difference because egress costs for artifact registry and GC are the same for everything outside Google Cloud.
Okay.
So that change is only for like Google, but even in October 1 is going to be the same pricing. And I think because, let me see, if you artifact registry pricing stuff, I think I saw that somewhere. Where is the egress? Network egress. Yeah. Internet egress is based on premium tier.
Yeah.
So it's mostly, so there's no really, for everything outside of Google Cloud, there's no change because it's going to be the same pricing.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying moving to artifact registry is only a benefit for us as we have infrastructure, we have entities inside Google Cloud using that endpoint, and we have the test infra also using that endpoint. That's
okay.
the cost benefit of that. But if we want to consider cost saving based of customers / entities outside of Google, there's no really change really to that. That's why I'm saying artifact registry is more like, basically, if we succeed to go in production using AWS like September, we're gonna be fine because we're gonna absorb all of that with the cost saving.
Okay. But yeah, that's where we are. It's looking very great. Image promotion is a different story, but it's going to be happening as a release, and we're going to see where it goes.
Okay, we are out of time. Any last question? Okay, thank you for
Thanks,
coming.
everybody.
to this call. Welcome to Brian. I'm really sorry about basically what you have to go through for fixing the job.
It's all right. Thanks for talking. Nice
Okay.
meeting y'all.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.